Smart 24, driving business.
Good morning and welcome to Smart Means Business this morning. I'm Andrew Bariji, and of course today being the 22nd of October, it's a Tuesday 2024, and definitely it's a very cold morning. It's more like the rain is making a habit of late to be showering every morning hours. You know, it keeps on shifting quite so many times because, you know, it's a whole discussion regarding climate change, and this is the reality that we're experiencing today. You know, it's very interesting when the matters that are of global importance now start to become a reality to majority of the people. You know, the day-to-day livelihood, that's when you can relate to the events quite respectfully, and you'll be in position to value these discussions that we talk about every other day on the various platforms. And the most important thing is that what is the way forward? How do you position yourself despite the current maze that we're into? Now, of course, as we celebrate the World Investor Week, we are reminded of the importance of creating a vibrant investment and, ecosystem which can actually foster growth, talking about innovation and sustainability. Now, in Uganda and the broader East African region, this is something that is being embarked on. Now, the theme for this year's Investor Week, of course, is more of shaping Uganda's financial future. But of course, we also don't put aside the aspect that it's all dwelling on the fact that it's kind of emphasizing how we can embed technology into the financial markets space. Now, of course, this mission means that we need to attract and retain investors, improve financial literacy, and also, on that note, encourage what we call the adoption of the responsible financial practices. That is very important across all the sectors. Now, of course, from the regional context in today's discussions, Kenya and South Africa's crypto tax crackdown. Of course, we see that in a bold move, Kenya and South Africa are targeting cryptocurrency users in an effort to curb what we call the tax evasion and regulate the burgeoning digital currency market. Of course, the financial authorities in both nations are grappling with what we call the challenges posed by the rapid growth of the cryptocurrencies, and of course, which while offering opportunities for wealth for some people, for wealth generation, they also present significant risks, including tax evasion, because we know most of these cryptocurrencies, they are not regulated. Now, according to a recent report by the it's called Chainalysis, the value of cryptocurrency transactions in Africa reached over 100 billion. That is according to the 2021 report, of course, representing a staggering increase that is from the previous year. Now, this regulatory focus is essential, of course, in safeguarding the revenue streams that are crucial for what we call public service delivery and infrastructure development. So we shall be having that report in our Caribbean East Africa later on. And of course, as Uganda also explores its own regulatory framework that is over the cryptocurrencies, it is crucial that we can actually consider the lessons learned from the regional neighbors. Now, with 7% of Uganda's population reportedly involved in cryptocurrency trading, effective regulation can actually help the government harness what we call the economic potential of the digital currencies while ensuring compliancy with what we call the tax obligation. Now, of course, a report from South Sudan, there is a huge call for the citizens to really participate in water supply and contra at the same time. Now, a call for local empowerment, shifting our focus now, this is to South Sudan. The government is actually urging its citizens to take control over the water supply streams to break the foreign monopoly that currently dominates the sector. Now, with only about 40% of the population having access to clean drinking water, localizing water supply management is not just an economic strategy, but it is being considered a humanitarian necessity. Now, the emphasis is not just economic, broader regional efforts, that is to enhance food security and improve what we call living conditions but we know that by investing in sustainable water management practices, South Sudan can actually empower its communities to foster economic growth, thereby improving the overall quality of life for its citizens. So this is in-depth discussions that we are going to be building up later on. And of course, from the other side, Japan comes out and lends out to African Development Bank with 421 million. This underscores its status as a leading donor to the continent. Now, this investment is poised to support various projects, discussing which projects are actually aimed at fostering economic growth and improving infrastructure across the African nations. Now, according to the African Development Bank, such funding not only addresses immediate economic needs, but also lays the foundation for what we call a sustainable development in sectors, most especially like transportation and clean energy. And also, of course, education, something that we cannot miss out. And of course, now, still in that line, Elon Musk comes out to donate 1 million. Now, in an intriguing twist, Elon Musk has actually announced what we call a philanthropic initiative that will actually be distributing 1 million United States dollars a day to registered voters. You can imagine. Now, this unprecedented move aims to engage citizens in what we call the democratic process and raise awareness that is about the importance of voting. Now, with voter turnout in many in many democracies fluctuating, that is between 50 and 70%, Musk's initiative may serve as a catalyst to to a greater civic participation, where we're going to see various Americans participate into the election, and that is something to also look into. And in our business insight later on, I'll be joined with a guest, and we shall be discussing what we call the Green Revolution, what Uganda needs. Of course, as we look at one of the most pressing challenges Uganda faces in the end of the Green Revolution, that balances that we call sustainable farming practices with economic growth. Now, of course, with agriculture sector contributing about 23% to Uganda's gross domestic product and employing over 70% of the workforce. So investing in sustainable agriculture practices is not only vital for what we call food security, but also for long-term economic stability. So I'll be embarking on so many of those details later on. And of course, what you need to understand is that statistics clearly reveal that that the country loses about 12% on annual basis agricultural output due to climate-related shocks. Now, highlighting the urgent need for resiliency in farming, innovative approach such as agroecology, which we're actually going to be breaking down. The agroecology, organic farming, and the use of sustainable fertilizers can definitely significantly boost productivity while preserving the environment. Now, these dual focus on growth and sustainability is actually critical and aims to position itself as the leader when it comes to agriculture exports, especially in the market that increasingly favors sustainably sourced products. So you need to understand that the market favors sustainably sourced products. Well, more of those discussions are going to be coming up shortly in the next coming hours. But for now, allow me to switch and take a look at what's making headlines in the local press. Of course, kick-starting off with the Daily Monitor here, something so profound, talking about societal aspects here. According to the National Housing and Population, the National Population and Housing Census 2024 report shows that most of the tendencies of societal thoughts are largely concentrated in the central region. Of course, talking about the Buganda region, which have the most cases of suicidal thoughts, plans and attempts, which are actually at 48,948, followed by Bunyoro with 39,390 cases, and Busoga with 38,554 cases. Now, this is something very alarming, and we need to look into it. The absolute question is, what is the way forward? And we need to understand what is the cause of these suicidal thoughts. And of course, these are effects that can largely be pressed on economic, on the current economic status. And you can see how real this is, regarding the economic trajectories, how it can all transcend from the macro level down to the micro level. And once you feel the pressure, you're definitely going to be stressed out. And definitely this means that these figures, the 48,948 that is in Buganda, what are the chances that actually these people can think of developmental ideas if they are crowded with suicidal thoughts? And clearly that can explain the state of poverty, the increase in poverty in that line, because once they are always thinking about suicidal thoughts, rarely are they going to think about to contribute to the economy. So something that needs to be addressed, in my opinion. And now, still in other news, 6 soldiers stuck in Germany for over 10 years. That is something you'll find out. And Africans accuse ICC, the International Criminal Court, of racial bias in choosing Kony lawyer. Something to also of great interest to check out. And the tourism board, hotel owners, lock horns over licenses. Yes. And of course, they show us here how small measuring tape is combating child malnutrition. How is that doing there? That is something that we shall check out as we go ahead. Now, in other national news, government to build 17 new markets in Greater Kampala. Yes, this is something, modern markets. We're talking about modern markets. The government is set to build that up. So there is a lot related to this information. And of course, they show us here how small measuring tape is combating malnutrition. Now, here, mid-upper arm circumference is a measurement that actually allows health workers to quickly determine if a patient is accurately malnourished. So this is something to also look into. It's called the mid-upper arm circumference. Yes, the mid-arm. So this is combating a small measuring tape. And details here about the Sikh SFC soldier stuck in Germany for 10 years, and of course is crying out to President Museveni in this regard. Now, Sergeant George Bende says that the hospital has since refused to treat him because of the outstanding 1 billion accumulated dates. No, much dates of treatment accumulating to 1 billion. Oh, this is very expensive. I mean, when you take a look at this, so the soldier is crying out to President Museveni. Let's wait and see what really comes out here. And of course, there is a whole page here which is discussing Uganda suicide puzzle. There is a lot that is entailed into this. There is police data on suicide, experts speaking out, the medics warning out the media. Yeah, so you can find out further details as you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor. And young people prone to suicide. The young are more prone to suicide caused by availability of technology, which actually contributes to the widespread of suicidal thoughts among them. I don't know why it's being attributed to technology, but of course this is something to really look really deep into, because you could find that it's that actually some of these people that are attempting to commit the suicide don't even have the gadgets that we're talking about. There is a number of them. So I don't want us to largely attribute this to technology, but we need to have a balanced sort of argument if we are to have a proper solution over this matter. Now, in other national news, Africans accuse the International Criminal Court of racial bias when it comes to choosing the Kony lawyer. Now, Joseph Kony is accused of 36 accounts of war crimes, of war crimes and crimes against humanity in northern Uganda. There is a lot to really find out there as you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor. And Minister directs Kampala City Council Authority boss on Kitezi landfill deal. What is he directing? Grab yourself a copy to find out the further details that are entailed into this particular discussion. All right, we're still proceeding along here. Now, we take a look at a woman who actually assaulted a officer in a viral video. improving post-harvest handling and fostering agricultural modernization, among others. So Uganda-China signed deal that is to boost farming. And of course, proceeding along here onto the Prosper section, we took a look at, there is a question here, and it's in line with the standard gauge railway. Of course, it has been making rounds all over the media for the past 2 weeks. Of course, first with the Turkish farm coming in, and now we see people that were evicted in some place where this gauge railway is going to pass. These people were largely they evicted, and now they were calling for compensation. Well, strikes were all over. Now the question is, how will Uganda juggle the late entry into the standard gauge railway race? Now, Uganda has linked a deal with the Turkish farmer, that is Yapi Makezi, to build its standard gauge railway stretching from Malaba on the Kenyan border to Kampala at $2.7 billion. But the question is, can Uganda actually catch up with with its neighbors who are already benefiting from their rail investments? Now, this is a very huge question to really ponder into. If you to see it in that regard, it's not something to really downlook. It's a big, how are we going to compete? How are we going to really be in this space like those that have already been into that space? Now, more local firms take on engineering works at the ECOP. Now, multiple Ugandan companies subcontracted by Worley, it's the UK, have been contracted by Worley UK and are undertaking high-level engineering, talking about civil works and structure designs at the 5 main camps and pipe yards in different locations in the country, Uganda. So you find out further details in relation to that, and we shall be good to go. And now, how will Uganda juggle its late entry into the SGR race? Now, agriculture insurance here, they're telling us why it's important. It's a key tool for mitigating farming risks. Of course, introduced in Uganda in 2016, agriculture insurance in Uganda is a government-supported initiative at protecting the farmers. So that is something to also look into. And we see more farmers are insuring their produce. Yes, farmers are actually insuring their produce, because according to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Uganda Agriculture Insurance Scheme definitely encourages commercial banks to lend to agriculture, to lend to the agriculture sector. That is aimed at reducing risks through insurance coverage. We're talking about insurance coverage and thereby improving farmers' access to loans. Something to also check out there. And I think I'm winding up with the Daily Monitor. Now let's take a look at what's happening into the New Vision. Now, Museveni speaks out on State House arrests, according to what I'm seeing, and the compensation for the affected persons raises to 600 billion. Now, this is the standard gauge railway. The people that are being compensated, remember, riots. People were striking peacefully, of course, and not violent strikes. And now, of course, the First Lady here urges teachers to live up to the calling. Yes, to live up to the calling. So how best can the teachers really do that? How can they live up to the calling? There's something to find out as you grab yourself a copy of the New Vision. Okay, now proceeding along, we see what is happening. Now, President Museveni here speaking out on the State House arrests. Facts of the alleged offences will actually come out in the trial, according to the press here. And President pledges more support to Africa CDC. This is Center for Disease Control. This is in a bid to strengthen capacity of African health institutions. Something has to be done. And 62 Wax Ministry officials have been probed. Of course, inflated pay is the issue here that we are looking at. And somebody here says that prioritize local languages to promote tourism. Yeah, prioritize local languages to promote tourism. Now, sending they say that since Uganda is actually part of the East African community, there is need to put more emphasis on Swahili. in addition to other foreign languages like French. This is what Rosemary Seninde says in that regard. Now, of course, confirmed mpox cases increased to 152. Patients spread across 19 districts. Imagine that. Patients are spreading across 19 districts. Now, the public urged to avoid multiple sex partners and also the commercial sex workers, according to this. Yeah. Now, still in that, of course, security. This is sex with prisoners, security officers to be jailed for life. Now, persons to be affected include those who seek to obtain financial or other benefits from prostitution as pimps. As pimps, so something you should also take out on that line. Now, state protests lawyer, that is Tumwebaze's action. All this has been put here. Something that should be looked into. His action of banging table during cross-examination. That was something not really professional in that regard. Now, heroic police officers get ministerial visit, and they have actually been honored. Yes, heroic. Yes, the police heroes, heroic police officers are getting the ministerial visit, and the National Unity Platform supporters convicted of treachery. Yes, find out what further details are entailed into that. And of course, Magara here still in court. As we see, Magara had survived several kidnap attempts, according to the witness. Now, kidnappers demand $1 million, about 3.6 billion Ugandan shillings ransom. Bukenya and Nakandi told the court whatever they said in the video was meant to save their lives. So something to also look into. And the National Resistance Movement Secretariat employee remanded over slapping a police officer. Yeah, not taking advantage to be a part of the ruling government, and you break the law. Now, Bishop Mwesigwa warns against indiscipline in Ugandan schools. There's something to also look into. Now, IGG holds Chitezi landfill deal. Yes, find out what is entailed into that particular one as we proceed along. And First Lady celebrates Uganda's teachers, challenges them on the noble calling. In other words, it's telling them, keep onto that calling permanently and firmly with the right responsibility and mandate. Well, let's go for the break. Caribbean East Africa and international updates coming up.
Smart 24, driving business.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again.
Get all the football on DSTV Cutback for only 110,000 shillings per month.
Is my joy. Ono bulu majiki wange. Ayo Taraba kumabala atukuza nonyirira okirako enyange. Kaisa bubi fabriki chona chechiri chigwa lwa bulu majiki. Bulu majiki is my choice. Ono bulu majiki wange. And the bulu majiki is my choice. Hey, ono bulu majiki wange.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The Grow Loan is an intervention under the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Box, harder. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Say hello to Kevin.
He is just beyond words.
Your ultimate BFF for football nights.
He is the man that you just cannot silence. Oh, it's another classic.
Kevin, what's your secret to always being this happy?
Easy. It's GoTV Super Plus.
Well, there you have it. Upgrade like Kevin and enjoy more for less. GoTV Super Plus, now at a reduced price. Level up your entertainment and savings. GoTV, love it.
Smart 24, driving business.
Yes, we'll be back from the break. Smart means business. I'm Andrew Barigi, and definitely at this point in time, we're heading into our discussions regarding Caribbean East Africa and the international updates. Now, as we kick start off with Caribbean East Africa, let's first of all take a look at Kenya. Now, according to the reports that are coming out of there, Kenya, with combined efforts with South Africa, are actually targeting the crypto users to curb the evasion. Most especially, this evasion is in line with the tax evasion. Now, the rise of cryptocurrencies has fundamentally changed financial landscapes across the globe. In Africa, now 2 of the continent's largest economies, that is Kenya and South Africa, are leading the change in regulating this frontier. Now, according to Steele, as we proceed, as governments scramble to adapt to what we call the changing financial, the changing financial environment, these countries have actually turned into attention, have turned their attention into crypto users. That is in a bid to cap tax evasion and enforce what we call financial transparency. Now, Africa has actually become one of the greatest growing regions when we talk about cryptocurrency adoption. Now, by mid-2023, reports from the Chain Analysis ranked Kenya and South Africa among the top 10 countries for the crypto usage globally. Now, according to a 2023 report by Statista, an estimated of 11.6% of South Africa's internet users owned or had access to cryptocurrencies, while Kenya ranked 3rd worldwide with about 8.5% of its internet population involved in cryptocurrency. Currency unstable and limited access to traditional banking systems, making the cryptocurrencies as what we call a refuge for many seeking to protect their wealth. Now, however, this surge is actually importantly comes the challenge of regulating these decentralized assets, particularly regarding the tax comprise. Now, Kenya often called the Silicon Savannah. You know, Kenya is often actually, it's the nickname being given to Kenya, the Silicon Savannah. Now, due to its thrilling fintech sector, is at the forefront of African digital transformation. Now, the country's crypto market has actually been burgeoning, driven primarily by remittances, peer-to-peer trading, and investment. You know, the crypto market in Kenya has been burgeoning, driven primarily by remittances, talking about peer-to-peer trading and investment. Now, in 2023, the Kenyan government introduced the new digital services tax, which actually came into effect on January 1st, 2024. Now, the DST requires that all cryptocurrency transactions be subject to a 3% on the gross transaction value. Now, the tax applies to both individuals and entitles that profit from cryptocurrency trades. Now, Kenya's adoption of cryptocurrencies has been actually skyrocketing. According to Chainalysis, Kenya had about 90.4 billion worth of cryptocurrency traded between July 2022 and June 2023, reflecting a growing appetite for digital currencies. Now, of course, with these figures rising, tax authorities are now focused on bringing these transactions into what we call a formal tax system. Now, the Kenya Revenue Authority has expressed concerns that many crypto traders and investors are evading the taxes due to the decentralized anonymous nature of cryptocurrencies. Now, in response, the Kenya Revenue Authority has partnered with blockchain analytic firms to track transactions and ensure compliancy, a significant challenge which remains. Now, over 80% of the crypto transactions in Kenya are conducted with peer-to-peer. Of course, peer-to-peer means that you make a transaction. For example, if you're making a withdrawal, you more like somebody sends you the dollars and you send him the local currency. Now, somebody sends me the dollars and me, I give him my Ugandan shillings. I give him 70,000 Ugandan shillings, he gives me $20. No, he gives me $20, I give him 75,000 Ugandan shillings. So that's what we call the peer-to-peer. Now, Kenya's aggressive move to enforce compliancy, it comes with stiff penalties. Crypto users actually who fail to support their income could actually face fines of up to 100,000 Kenyan shillings, or imprisonment of up to 6 months. Now, in addition to the unpaid taxes. Moreover, the Kenya Revenue Authority has actually implemented a mandatory self-declaration of digital assets, which is actually required during annual tax filings. Now, let's take a look at South Africa's clampdown on crypto tax cheats. Now, it's one of the countries with advanced economies in Africa and has long had a significant cryptocurrency market. And the country's adoption of blockchain technology has grown in tandem with the increasing value of Bitcoin and other digital currencies. Now, by 2023, South Africa ranked first in Africa for cryptocurrency adoption. Now, and 20th on the global scale. This is according to AAA, a cryptocurrency payments firm. So that is what we are looking at in line with Kenya and Kenya and South Africa coming up with aggressive measures in terms of cracking down the cryptocurrency users. But this is largely in line with regulation because most of these people don't actually pay taxes. That's why if you know one of the leading cryptocurrency exchanges globally, that is Binance, in the United States of America, it actually decided to operate under different terms. They actually pay taxes. But in other countries like Africa, Asia, and so many other countries where it operates, they don't regulate it. So that is the disadvantage with the cryptocurrencies as we're talking about. Now, in other stories, let's head into South Sudan. There is a big issue in South Sudan, and this is in line with water distribution and control and supply. Now, South Sudan, the government is actually urging the citizens to participate in water supply. Now, the supply of water in South Sudan, a critical resource for human survival, had been predominantly controlled by foreign traders for years. Now, the recent developments, however, highlight what we call the growing demand for local involvement in the water supply industry. Benson Boy Anwar, the National Trade and Industry Director General, the National Trade and Industry Director General for Private Sector, has actually urged South Sudanese citizens to venture into water supply business to break the monopoly held by the foreigners. and of course reduce the prices and strengthen local economic development. Now the government's push for such South Sudanese to take part in this is essential. In this essential sector comes in response to the escalating water prices and mounting frustrations from the citizens who face exorbitant rates, that is for basic necessities. Now, foreign traders in Sudan currently dominate the water supply market in South Sudan, with some controlling vast portions of urban centers, including Juba. But despite government appeals to lower the cost of water prices, prices have actually continued to climb. Now, the price of a container of clean water recently skyrocketed to about 2,500, that is South Sudanese pounds, creating an uproar among residents. Actually, skyrocketed from 2,500 to 6,000 South Sudanese pounds. Now, that's a huge increase. That is of almost about 3,500 increment. Now, this created an uproar among the residents who actually already are facing financial hardships due to economic instability. Now, one of the key reasons for the inflated water prices is the monopoly maintained by the foreign companies that control water tankers, talking about purification systems and distribution networks. Now, the lack of local competition has allowed these traders to actually set the prices without accountability, further stressing South Sudan's vulnerable population. Now, during the launch of the South Sudan National Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture Specialized Committees, Anwar reiterated the importance of South Sudanese investing in water supply sector, that is to disrupt the existing monopoly. Now, he explained that the only viable solution to reducing water prices and ensuring their market practices is for locals to step up and invest in water projects, and that is a nationwide. Now, ours is a free market and we cannot chase the people away. This is according to what Anya said in his very own words. He said, theirs is a free market and they cannot chase the people away. He stated, of course, Anyal stated, signaling that government would actually not expel foreign traders, but rather encourage competition from the locals to create a more balanced market. Now, the Director General also highlighted the previous attempts to negotiate lower prices with the foreign traders yielded minimal results. As such, he urged traders to consider the welfare of consumers and prioritize affordability over the profits. Now, the chairperson of the South Sudan's National Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, that is LUCAC, emphasized the need for a stronger revenue collection system similar to those in neighboring countries. Now, he pointed to Uganda's robust revenue collection system, which has actually kept the dollar exchange rate relatively stable since 2011. Now, LUCAC reported that a strong economic framework could actually allow South Sudan to recover from its current challenges and maintain price stability in essential sectors, including the water supply. Now, furthermore, LUCAC called on South Sudanese traders and officials to actually avoid taking bribes from the foreign traders, warning that corrupt practices undermine the country's economic health and contribute to inflated prices to essential services like clean water. Now, Mark Michel Francis, director of the Juba bloc, echoed these sentiments during his inspection of the new water prices. Now, he announced to impose fines and potentially deport foreign traders who exploit the market. Now, the first-time offenders, according to Francis, would actually face a fine of about 350,000 South Sudanese pounds, while repeat offenders would actually face prison terms ranging from what we call 6 months to a year. Now, he also pointed out that foreign ambassadors accredited to South Sudan have occasionally justified the exploitation of South Sudanese citizens by claiming their country's contributions to South Sudanese independence. Now, Francis' comments reflect the government's firm stance against foreign traders' perceived exploitation. Now, by implementing strict measures against those who defy the rules, the government definitely aims to protect its citizens from being overcharged for the basic resources and to encourage local participation in the market. Now, the monopolization of the water supply industry by the foreign entities is just one of the many challenges facing South Sudanese economy. Now, in addition to higher water prices, the country has actually struggled with inflation, currency instability, and a limited private sector. Encouraging South Sudanese investment in industries like water supply could actually help the country diversify its economy and reduce what we call dependence on the foreign businesses, according to the reports. Now, the water supply business in particular offers significant opportunity for local entrepreneurs talking about clean water, and which is essential for public health, and there is a growing demand for both urban and rural areas, demand for this water. Now, by supporting local businesses that actually that demand for it, the government could actually help reduce unemployment once we have the locals participating into the water supply management chain. So that is something coming in from South Sudan, and of course that is it for the Caribbean East Africa report. In case you just joined us, Kenya and South Africa, of course, combining efforts to ensure that they crack down on the tax evasion when it comes to the cryptocurrency users. And South Sudan, the government is actually calling upon the citizens to participate in the water distribution business. And that is it. Let's cross and take a look at what's making headlines beyond the borders of East Africa. All right, now crossing over that to the international updates, let's take a look at Elon Musk here. Elon Musk is actually making headlines onto the international scene. But before we go into the Elon Musk's case, something happened very amazing. Japan decided to lend to the African Development Bank, and of course, positioning it as one of the prominent donors to the institution, of course, with the funds to enable the African Development Bank support economic growth and development initiatives in Africa. Now, in a significant report, show of support of Africa Development Bank, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, that is JICA, and the African Development Bank Group signed what we call a land agreement for concessional loan of 51.67 billion Japanese yen. Now, this loan is actually, it further cements Japan's role as one of the top donors of the African, to the African Development Bank. Now, the concessional lending arm, this is the concessional lending arm of the African Development Bank, continuing a relationship that dates back over 5 decades. Now, since joining the African Development Bank, the African Development Fund in June 1973, Japan has actually consistently been one of its largest donors. Now, over the years, Japan's financial contributors have actually played a pivotal role in enabling the African Development Bank to support low-income African countries through grants and concessional loans. Now, this support has fueled critical projects in infrastructure, agriculture, and talking about education, contributing to the continent's growth and stability. Now, Japan's engagement in Africa is not limited to the ADF. Now, through initiatives like the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, Japan has actually demonstrated its long-term commitment to the region. Now, TICAD, this is the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, which started in 1993, has actually become a key forum for strengthening partnerships between Japan and African nations and driving investment in key sectors like technology, health, and clean energy. Now, the concessional loan from JICA will actually provide essential financial backing for the African Development Fund's ongoing future projects. And we know that any concessional loan typically carries more favorable terms, low interest rates, extended repayment periods, and flexible conditions, concessional loans. Now, this definitely allowing African countries to manage their debt burdens while tackling what we call the development challenges. Now, the loan will likely be directed towards critical sectors, talking about infrastructure, energy, and sustainable agriculture. Now, these sectors, which require long-term investments, are very central to creating jobs, fostering economic resilience, and ensuring that African economies can actually weather the global crisis currently affecting the region. Now, the ADF's continued replenishment is crucial at a time when African nations are actually facing unprecedented challenges. Now, Dr. Akinomi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank Group, expressed gratitude for Japan's support, emphasizing that African countries are facing multiple challenges. Of course, talking about rising energy and food prices, talking about supply chain disruptions on a global scale, and the worsening debt sustainability, which are having serious impact on most of the African countries. Now, global events, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine war conflict, and the resulting supply chain issues have excavated pre-existing vulnerabilities in African countries. Now, clearly, we see that the costs of energy and food prices have skyrocketed across the continent, putting immense pressure on both governments and households at the same time. Now, in East Africa, we see that the food prices have actually increased as much as 25%, according to the recent World Bank data, with drought in the Horn of Africa compounding the crisis. Meanwhile, we see that energy prices are also pushing many countries to reevaluate their energy mix and investment in the renewable energy areas. And now these are areas that actually Japan has historically supported Africa. Now, in June of this year, Kenya made headlines by pledging $100 million to increase its shareholding in the Africa Development Bank, Afreximbank, and the Trade Development Bank. Now, of course, this move clearly highlights Kenya's ambition to strengthen influence within the regional institutions, positioning itself as the leader in African development financing. Now, we know that also its growing stability is part of the broader economic strategy. Moreover, the African Development Bank's recently investment in Dahama Guarantee Company, that is a Nairobi institution, exemplifies the kind of target support the bank is actually providing to spur enterprise growth. Now, by offering guarantees for small, medium-sized enterprises, Damana helps to de-risk investments in green projects and other high-impact sectors, ensuring African entrepreneurs can actually access financing. So the role of Japan in African Development Bank's 60th and 17th replenishments. Now, in the recent loan, actually was hailed as a success. Now, without Japan's concession of donor lending, Dr. Adenisa pointed out that they wouldn't have had a successful ADF 16 replenishment. It's according to what she said in that regard. And well, away from that, finally, as we wind up the international updates report, let's switch and head into the American elections. But this time around, of course, looking at a gentleman known as Elon Musk, who is actually said to give away $1 million a day to a registered voter. Now, Elon Musk's $1 million a day giveaway, it's a controversy that actually surrounds voter payments in the United States presidential elections. So it's more like he's paying the voters. Now, the tech billionaire Elon Musk has stirred political and legal debates with a new campaign tactic ahead of the 2024 United States presidential election. Now, Musk has actually committed to give away $1 million a day to registered voters in key swing states through his political action committee, America PAC, until the United States presidential elections on November 5th. Now, the move is part of the broader strategy to support Republican nominee Donald Trump in his bid to return to the White House. Now, the campaign, which involves randomly selecting voters who sign a pro-United States Constitution petition, has actually raised concerns about election legality, with experts, lawmakers, and public figures weighing in on the potential consequences of such a high-profile giveaway. Now, Musk's campaign initiative, launched by the America PAC, offers a unique and highly controversial incentive that is in key swing states, talking about Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. And we see that Arizona, there is Michigan, Wisconsin, and so many more, which are eligible to participate by signing a petition. Now, the petition declares support for free speech and gun rights and the core tenets of the First and Second Amendments of the United States Constitution. Now, participants submit their contact information as part of the process, effectively allowing America PAC to build a comprehensive what we call a comprehensive database of voter information, which could actually later be used to campaign, outreach, fundraising, and targeted political messaging. Now, beyond the $1 million giveaway, Musk's initiative incorporates what called traditional incentives. Voters in Pennsylvania, a critical battleground state, receive $100 simply by signing the petition. Now, they can actually earn an additional $100 for each referral, which also signs the petition, turning this into a potentially lucrative chain of individuals willing to campaign for Musk's cause. Now, voters in the other swing states offered a 47%, that is $47 per referral. Now, while these payments do not directly require a vote for a particular candidate, they actually introduce significant amounts of money into the election process, raising questions about the legality of actually such a tactic under the United States election laws. Now, election law experts are raising alarms about the legality of Musk's giveaway. The United States election law explicitly prohibits payments or gifts that incentivize individuals to vote regardless of the candidate or issue. Under the federal law, it is illegal to pay someone to vote or to offer anything of value in exchange for voting. Now, violation of this law carries severe penalties, including fines of up to $10,000 or imprisonment of up to 5 years. And now this is exactly what Elon Musk is actually embarking on doing. So, what does this position the United States? Elections that are scheduled for 5th November this very year. Elon Musk, a very, very visionary, very confident man, in terms of what he actually believes in that regard. But anyway, we shall be taking a look at one of the details that come out of this report. And here in Smart Means Business, we always keep you updated regarding those matters. Well, at this point, allow me to take a break, and I'm returning with our business tips and quotes. And we have something from the World Investor, the World Investor Week. And of course, here on Smart 24 TV, exclusively, we shall be giving you the live coverage of how Uganda is actually celebrating, how we are celebrating the World Investor Week being put together by the Capital Markets Authority. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Winning requires the stamina of a lion. But most important today, it requires that you carry that water up the top of the hill. However, you must use a spoon. Take the water now. Go, run, climb up the hill. 72 spoons. Faster, go, go. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165 *3 hash.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again.
Get all the football on DSTV Cutback for only 110,000 shillings per month.
Say hello to Kevin,
He is just beyond words.
your ultimate BFF for football nights.
He is the man that you just cannot silence. Oh, it's another classic.
Kevin, what's your secret to always being this happy?
Easy. It's GoTV Super Plus.
Well, there you have it. Upgrade like Kevin and enjoy more for less. GoTV Super Plus, now at a reduced price. Level up your entertainment and savings. GoTV, love it.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The Grow Loan is an intervention under the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family, be a leader, be magic.
Smart 24, driving business.
Well, exactly 6 minutes past 8. Smart Means Business. Andrew Barije, your host this morning. And it's this moment when we get inspired as we take a look at, of course, those entrepreneurs that have actually gone beyond and ahead of us when it comes to the world of investment. Let's get inspired. That is Michael Adenuga, that believes that the harder he works, actually, the luckier he gets. You know, it's not about I get lucky and, you know, things just happen all that way. So there is some element of hard work. And the people that actually we consider to be kind of, let me say, lucky, you know, the people you can call lucky, actually they are hard workers. The hard work creates the luck in that regard. I think that's what they are trying to mean when you take a look at that. So work hard, you'll get lucky. All right, now heading into our discussion today, now we're talking about the World Investor Week. Now, this is opening up our business update this morning, and we have something very amazing. Now, the World Investor Week 2024 comes at a critical juncture for Uganda, most especially a nation that is grappling with both vast opportunities and persistent challenges in its economic development. Now, the global campaign led by the International Organization Commissions is designed by the International Organization Securities Commissions is designed to promote investor education and protection, while its significance is global, and the impact on Uganda's nascent financial markets could actually be also technological advancements, foreign direct investment trends, and Uganda ambitious vision 2040 goals. However, for all the excitement and promise, it's important to ask the tough questions here, which are Uganda's financial systems really prepared to support a broad base of educated investors? And how do Ugandan communities, particularly marginalized ones, stand to gain or lose amid these financial developments? Now, this will be a very crucial. Now, while Uganda has actually made commendable progress in building capital market, it still remains underdeveloped compared to its East African neighbors. Now, according to the Capital Markets Authority of Uganda, stock market capitalization as of 2023 stood at $4.5 billion, a far cry from Kenya's market, which boasted a capitalization of over $24 billion. But this isn't just a number, it's a reflection of Uganda's broad economic challenges, a low level of local participation in formal financial markets. Now, the harsh reality is that most Ugandans still prefer informal savings mechanisms like SACCOs. You're talking about savings and credit cooperative organizations, all investment in tangible assets like land and livestock. Now, a 2022 financial sector deepening Uganda report revealed that approximately 45% of Ugandans remain unbanked, and this is quite a significant barrier integrating them into the capital market. Now, you see that the World Investor Week 2024 can actually help bridge this gap, but the question is whether Uganda has the institutional strength to manage a surge of what we call new investors. You know, we're talking about this, but does Uganda have the muscle to handle the surge of the new investors? Now, if this participation isn't properly managed, we could actually be setting up many Ugandans for financial risk rather than empowerment. Now, one of the most profound shifts in Uganda's financial ecosystem has actually been the widespread adoption of mobile money services. Now, in 2022, mobile money transactions hit 138 trillion, growing from 105 trillion in 2021. Now, this surge in digital financial services, we see that is actually leading to new investment products like mobile spread savings, talking about mobile best accounts and peer-to-peer lending platforms, offering investment options to millions of Ugandans who previously had little or no access to financial markets. But as mobile money takes root, it's worth noting the associated risks. While mobile money has democratized access to financial services, it has also actually made Ugandans more susceptible to scams and fraud. Now, between 2020 and 2022, Uganda's Capital Markets Authority reported losses of over 50 billion to Ponzi schemes, 50 billion Ugandan shillings lost to Ponzi schemes and fraudulent investment platforms that prey on low-income investors. Now, in a nation where financial literacy is still a work in progress, the excitement around investment opportunities can actually easily run into what we call delusionment. Now, the World Investor Week 2024, with its focus on investor protection, has the potential to educate Ugandans about these risks. However, there is a deeper question here of how can the government and financial institutions create a safe environment for investors, especially given the growing complexity of financing products. Now, we know that Uganda's reliance on mobile technology for financial inclusion is both a blessing and a challenge. Now, as more Ugandans access investment platforms, that is via their phones, it is imperative that regulatory frameworks are actually strengthened to protect consumers from the bad actors. Now, foreign direct investment, what we're seeing there, is often touted as the lifeblood of Uganda's economic transformation. Now, especially with the discovery of oil in the Albertine Graben region. Now, in 2023, Uganda attracted an estimated 1.1 billion in foreign direct investment, with expectation that oil will actually will increase this figure significantly by 2025. Now, the World Investment Week 2024 presents an opportunity to showcase Uganda as a viable destination for foreign investors. But let's not be naive about this. Foreign direct investment is not a panacea for all Uganda's economic woes. Now, while foreign direct investment has the potential to create jobs and spur economic growth, we know that it can also excavate inequality if the benefits are not widely shared. Take the oil industry, for example. Despite the promises of development, there are concerns that the profits from oil will remain concentrated in the hands of a few, with limited trickle-down effects for what we call, extraordinary Ugandans in this regard. Moreover, when we talk about the environmental risks associated with the oil extraction, this could have devastating impacts, most especially on local communities, and the World Investor Week could actually be a platform to engage in these difficult conversations, ensuring that investment serves the broader public good rather than just corporate interests. Investment should serve the public good. So in other words, foreign direct investment is very great for this country, but if the resources are not distributed equally, it may never be an answer. This is what we are trying to actually pick from this report. Remember, we are discussing the World Investor Week. Now, another key focus of the World Investor Week 2024 is the growing importance of what we call environmental, social, and governance principles, criteria in the global investment strategies. Now, of course, for Uganda, this definitely presents a double-edged sword, if we're to take a look at that way. One hand, Uganda is ripe for ECG-focused investments, particularly talking about renewable energy, and the country has actually attracted over $600 million in renewable energy investments, particularly in the solar sector, where the rural electrification projects have actually gained momentum. But Uganda's sustainability credentials are far from perfect. Deforestation, talking about illegal mining and pollution, continue to plague the country. While there are opportunities for green investments, the World Investment Week 2024 can also serve as a platform to question Uganda's readiness for environmental, for ECG, focused investors. Now, the question is, are Ugandan businesses equipped to meet the stringent reporting and what we call operational standards that the ECG investors demand? Moreover, can the Ugandan government also enforce regulations to ensure that investments labeled as green actually deliver sustainable incomes? This is something to look into it. Now, let's not, of course, lose sight of the human element here. If we take a look at, if you see the World Investor Week 2024, isn't just about numbers or trends, but it has a lot to do with how it's about how investment, talking about how investment, both local and international, affects the people. Taking a look at something that we need to, to look into. How does it zero down to we Ugandans as people? So we need to be so critical. I mentioned something when I was starting up this show, that these matters transcend all the way from the macro realm, coming to the realm where you exist, you and me exist, or whom people call the daily and everyday person. And the impacts are quite very, 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 very immense if we are to take a look in that light. Now, the World Investor Week 2024 is actually expected to have what we call a strong focus on digital finance, talking about blockchain, technology, and artificial intelligence is also part of that. And for Uganda to see these technologies represent both immense and potential and significant risks. Now, cryptocurrency, for instance, has seen a surge, and we had a report in our Caribbean East Africa story regarding cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency, for instance, has seen a surge in popularity across Africa, with adoption rates increasing by over 1,200% between 2020 and 2022. However, Uganda's regulatory framework for digital currencies is still in its infancy, and the government remains cautious about the widespread adoption. Now, the question is whether Uganda can harness the potential of these technologies without falling victim to the pitfalls. And we know that blockchain, for example, has the potential to revolutionize everything from land registration to supply chain transparency and so many more. But without adequate regulation, these technologies could actually exacerbate inequality and fraud. So the World Investor Week 2024 will provide an opportunity for stakeholders to engage in these critical discussions. Now, it could also it could be a watershed moment for Uganda. It offers a chance to boost financial literacy, attract responsible investments, and engage in what we call critical conversations about the future of Uganda's economy. But it also comes with risks. Now, if Uganda's financial systems aren't adequately prepared, or if investments proportionately benefit a select few, the World Investor Week could actually end up deepening what we call, some say it could end up lead to deepening inequality if some of the key aspects are not really looked into. Now, at the heart of it all, the World Investor Week is about empowering Ugandans to take control of their financial futures. You can see the local participation in Uganda's financial markets on screen there. Of course, we've seen increases, but I think the rates at which this increment is being witnessed do not exactly speak of what is on ground in line with the market. Because remember, we're in competition, with the markets. We're in competition with Kenya and so many other markets. So this is something that shouldn't be really just taken for granted, but something looked into with a broader perspective. Well, on that note, allow me, I have an interview of what transpired at the World Investor Week yesterday. Yesterday was actually the launch at the Uganda Securities Exchange in Nakawa. Let us see what Paul Bwiso, from the Uganda Securities Exchange, what he has to say. Is the head of the Uganda Securities Exchange, Paul Bwiso. Let's see the CEO, what he has to say in regards to the World Investor Week this year, 2024.
So this year, the Tech-Enabled Financial Inclusion edition of the World Investor Week 2024, why it is key for us at the capital markets and the Uganda Securities Exchange is that we are able to bring the different stakeholders within the capital markets to discuss pertinent issues and get solutions that can provide new views to investors to align with the conversation of investor protection and education. So as the Uganda Securities Exchange, with different partners and the Capital Markets Authority, we've come together to put in place different events that will ensure that pertinent conversations are held. Later today, we've got a discussion on X-Spaces to speak to the youth and the Gen Zs, among others, who will be keen on discussions and understanding how the capital markets work, investments and the opportunities within this sector. We've also got a Women in Business forum that we'll be holding on Wednesday, and that will share experiences with women within the investment ecosystem, but also provide solutions for financing for their businesses and also to be able to help them save what we usually use. But the numbers also show that there's been a lot more uptake on the portals, the different channels. As mentioned earlier, over 3,200 investors are using this system on a daily basis to post their orders. We've seen over 24 million shares trade off these different channels. So what they do is that because of the convenience they provide, and they ensure that a lot more people participate in the capital markets. So we're quite happy with the technology, and one of the reasons we're trying to educate people this week is to showcase these systems and how they can better utilize them for their investments. Yes, we have. There are conversations, and later this week, there are some enhancements we've undertaken on our Easy Portal. Investors will be able to see how they can access the bond market in a more efficient way using their phones in the comfort of their homes. There's a product we'll be launching soon too, and that is in the commodities space. We've got a subsidiary, the USC Commodities Exchange, that will enable farmers, among others, middlemen, to be able to participate on the exchange and deposit at accredited warehouses has improved. If we've seen the transactions on the exchange and the number of investors that participate, we have about 44,000 investors in the different listed companies, and those are using the systems or use technology to access the markets. In the two recent IPOs, the tech-based, we saw over 150,000 investors open SCD accounts seamlessly. So what that has done is it's created the convenience, and investors have started learning to find out, how do I access these markets? How do I access these products? Our stockbrokers have informed us that they get more requests for information and to learn. And that's one of the areas we're trying to promote, to provide more education around our products. They are looked at as unique, being securities, and how to interpret the different information one would have to make an informed investment decision. So linking the two, the convenience results in questions being raised, and investors have participated more. In the bond market, I think we've seen of the exchange ecosystem about 30 billion being invested into the government securities alone over the last two to 3 years. So there is definitely some traction because of the convenience. Can do more, and I think it's the readiness or the ability to have more products on the exchange. So when you've got an IPO, that's a product for people to invest in. So that creates an opportunity. Now, with the initiative we're bringing up on the bonds market for the technology, we know that there are treasury bills. So that will provide investment opportunities for investors. So we will, I think, finally have linked the technology to the products because of the readily able access to the products that will be released in the government bond market. Now, when you look at the equities, the liquidity and the opportunities are there. We've seen the different stocks, a couple of stocks rise quite quickly over the last period with the announcement of dividends. Now, what that means is that the 3,200 investors I'm referring to have been taking advantage of these opportunities to participate in the markets.
Smart 24, driving business.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The Grow Loan is an intervention under the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Winning requires the stamina of a lion. But most importantly, it requires that you carry that water up the top of the hill. However, you must use a spoon. Take the water now. Go, run, climb up the hill. 72 spoons. Faster, go, go. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
If you play a game of power, Chelsea is rich.
I didn't lie to you. I only withheld the information.
Any minute I get, I'm going to tell Charles. Be prepared to lose it all.
I'd rather be buried alive.
Damalai makes her boldest power play.
Very dramatic.
In season 2, Monday to Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Only on Pal Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148. Go TV channel 303.
Say hello to Kevin.
He is just beyond words.
Your ultimate BFF for football nights.
He is the man that you just cannot silence. Oh, it's another classic.
Kevin, what's your secret to always being this happy?
Easy. It's GoTV Super Plus.
Well, there you have it. Upgrade like Kevin and enjoy more for less. GoTV Super Plus, now at a reduced price. Level up your entertainment and savings. GoTV, love it.
Imagine a continent filled with limitless possibilities, where every African can realize their full potential. With the implementation of the continent-wide transformative flagship project of Agenda 2063, we can achieve this goal. An integrated high-speed train network that connects African countries so that we can travel and transport goods with ease across the continent. A continental strategy for Africa's commodities that ensures a collaborative process in developing and managing the continent's natural resources for all Africans. The world's largest trading zone in the African Continental Free Trade Area, which promotes trade within Africa and with the world. The African passport and the removal of restrictions through the free movement of persons, allowing Africans to travel, work, conduct business and live anywhere within their continent. A peaceful Africa where all guns are silenced. The Grand Inga Dam project will provide affordable and clean electricity. Improved and affordable air travel through a single African air transport market, SAATM, that connects African cities. An annual African Economic Forum that brings together great African minds to develop strategies to harness the continent's vast resources to the benefit of Africans. The establishment of the African financial institutions that promote economic integration and the transparent mobilization of resources to promote economic development. The Great African Museum will preserve and promote our cultural heritage and celebrate Africa's influence on the cultures of the world. Promoting cybersecurity that protects our data so there is safety online and ensures that emerging technologies are used for the benefit of Africans. An African virtual and e-university that provides access to the highest quality tertiary and continuing education to Africans anywhere in the world. A Pan-African e-network for innovative e-applications and services that will transform Africa into an e-society. An African outer space strategy that bolsters economic development across all sectors and positions Africa as a regional market for space products and services. And the Encyclopedia Africana, which will document and celebrate Africa's history, culture, and the contributions of African people throughout the world. Let us unite to build the Africa we want. Visit www.au.int to learn more about Agenda 2063.
Smart 24, driving business.
Yes, we'll be back from the break exactly 25 minutes to the top of the hour. This is Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barija, your host this morning. And of course, at this point in time, let's head into the entertainment. What is happening into the world of entertainment? Now, to kickstart off this, we're seeing something here coming in from PDD. Now, PDD is actually all over the headlines in the entertainment world, almost everywhere. Now, to the extent that actually before I came on air, I was reading a certain report that was suggesting the latest celebrity that has just died of recent was also warning the fans about Diddy. It was something he was warning the fans about Diddy in that line. Now, this is something that is also very heartbreaking. Now, Sean Diddy Combs faces new lawsuits, including a claim that he dragged and raped a 13-year-old girl with unnamed male and female celebrity. Now, of course, another round of lawsuits has been filed against Diddy, Sean Combs, including the allegation that he dragged and raped a 13-year-old girl with an unnamed male celebrity as unnamed female celebrity watched. Now, the Busby Law Firm, which said on October 1st that it would be presenting 120 more lawsuits against Combs, filed new suits in the Southern District of New York on Sunday night. Now, 2 more suits were also filed in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, that is respectively. Now, one of the suits comes from Jane Doe, who was actually 13 years old on September 7th. This was in the year 2000 when she tried to attend the MTV Video Music Awards. Now, she could actually not get into the awards show without a ticket, and therefore approached several limousine drivers after the event to see if she could actually attend an after party. Now, one of the drivers allegedly worked for Combs and drove the plaintiff, that is, to a party where he signed a non-disclosure agreement and accepted a drink. Now, after just one drink, the plaintiff alleged that she began to feel woozy and lightheaded and made her way to an empty bedroom to lie down. She was made to lie down in an empty bedroom. Now, soon after Combs allegedly entered the room, according to the reports, I love how it's being put out there like a play, like a script. Now, Combs allegedly entered the room with a male and female celebrity. Now, then she alleges that she was raped by the female celebrity as the female celebrity watched before allegedly being raped by Combs as both celebrities watched. Now, the suit goes on to allege that after the lawsuit, the plaintiff, who now lives in Alabama, fell into deep depression, which continues to affect, that is, every facet of her life. Now, a representative for Combs did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment on the new suits. Now, Diddy has repeatedly denied all the allegations against him. In a previous statement to Variety, his attorney said Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts that their legal defenses and integrity of the judicial process. Now, in court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, or woman. That's according to what they say. Now, Combs is currently incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center, that is in Brooklyn, New York, after being arrested on September 16th by Homeland Security on charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, talking about transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, he pleaded not guilty to the charges, and Combs was denied bail by 2 separate judges, and is set to remain behind bars until his trial in May of next year. Now, if found guilty of racketeering, Combs could actually face in life prison. Could face a punishment of life prison. Now, Combs parties, particularly those following the VMAs and his white party, that is in the Hamptons during the summer, had actually been known as celebrity sports leading up to his trial. And it remains to be seen if any big games will be implicated in the allegation against Sean Combs. Now, that is regarding Sean Combs. Of course, everyday reports definitely come from that line relating to that. Now, away from Diddy, let's switch to One Direction Liam Payne. One Direction's Liam Payne, who passed on a week ago. As a new report, the toxicology report actually has confirmed that there were drugs in his body. Now, Liam Payne's preliminary toxicology reports confirms drugs in his system at the time of death. Now, a preliminary toxicology report said that Liam Payne had drugs in his system when he died from injuries sustained in a fall off a third-story hotel balcony in Argentina. Now, authorities in Argentina have actually uncovered more details surrounding Liam Payne's untimely death. Now, results from a preliminary toxicology screening showed that the One Direction alum had drugs in his system. And when he actually fatally fell from the third-floor hotel room in Buenos Aires, October 16th, an official with direct knowledge told the press. Now, a police spokesperson confirmed to the outlet that the toxicology report was actually handed over to the local prosecutors for their investigation into Payne's death. Now, final results from the toxicology report are pending. Now, in an October 17th press release from the National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office, investigators said they actually found substances inside Payne's room that at first glance and pending confirmation from the experts would be narcotics and alcohol beverages. Now, as part of the investigations, authorities say they took statements from 3 hotel workers and 2 women had actually been with Payne in his room hours before his death, but had already left the hotel when he actually died. Now, beyond reconstructing the circumstances of the musician's death, prosecutors said in their press release that the investigation is actually also aimed at determining the possible involvement of third parties in the events prior to the victim's death. So, something very key here. Now, the authorities said 25 of Payne's injuries coincided with those expected from a fall at height, and that forensic experts found no defensive wounds or injuries that would suggest the intervention of third parties. Now, given the position in which the body was left and injuries from the fall, the prosecutor said it is presumed that Payne did not actually adapt a reflex posture to protect himself, and that he could have fallen into a state of semi-altered unconsciousness. This is according to what they say. Now, in the past, What Makes You Beautiful singer was open about his struggles with sobriety. Now, in 2023, Payne completed a 100-day stint in Louisiana Rehab Center as part of his sobriety journey. Now, in a video uploaded to his personal YouTube account that July, Payne, he said that, this is what actually he said. He said, I needed to take a little bit of more time for myself, actually because I kind of became somebody who did not really recognize anymore. This is according to what Payne, this is a statement that comes in from Payne. You know, one of his very last statements he made in that regard. And well, finally, now as we kick this up, we wind up the business and entertainment, let's switch now to the movies. Now, HBO's Harry Potter series will be more in-depth than films, says Warner Brothers boss. The next Harry Potters. Now, of course, Dangi, chairman and CEO of the Warner Brothers Television Group, was a keynote speaker at the MIPCOM's C-Suite Conversations, a partnership promoted across all formats and chains, including hits such as Shrinking, Abbott Elementary, Ted Lasso, and of course, this is season 4, of which Dangi said house star, head writer and co-creator, that is Jackson Sudeikis, is really excited about. Now, But there is one project no one can actually stop talking about, which Variety editor-in-chief Cynthia Little acknowledged on Monday. This is what he said. I don't think legally I'm allowed to let you off the stage without asking you this. She said, what can you tell us about the Harry Potter project? This is the question. What can you tell us about the Harry Potter project? Now, this is what Danji replied. He said that there is a lot to talk about this moment. We've got our fantastic writing staff in place, and they are doing what they need to do. And he talked about casting calls have opened up in the United Kingdom and Ireland, so the process is moving along. It's going quite well. Now, when proved further on the excitement of having an IP like J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books to play with, Danji said, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable dream, honestly, and somebody who is a huge fan of the books, the opportunity to get more, to explore them, it may be a little bit more in depth than you can in just to in a 2-hour film. That's the whole reason why they are on this journey. Now, in June, the series named Francesca Gardner as its writer and showrunner and tapped Mark Mylod to direct multiple episodes. Now, both are Emmy winners for HBO's Succession. Now, Gardner is part of the show's producing team, and Mylod as both director and producer. Now, when talked to Ted Lasso, for which the viewers and the co-creators are writing on Sudeikis, that is to give the official green light another season. Now, Danji said, we are in conversations about season 4, and they are very exciting. They are very exciting conversations, but it's still early days. But what he will say is that they have always been clear that there wasn't going to be more Ted Lasso if Jason and the team weren't feeling excited about it. Now, of course, he says that he can tell firsthand that he's actually in a place where he's feeling really excited and very good about it. Now, in the recent conversations with The Hollywood Reporter, his co-creators Bill Lawrence and Brett Goldstein both reiterated the ball is in Sudeikis' court, with Apple Plus TV picking up options for what we call for some of the cast that is yet to be put. Now, at the MIPCOM, Danji was also asked about the transition that Hollywood is currently going through and how it's no longer an industry of broadcasters, but much more, and how learning to adapt has actually never been more vital in order to survive. Now, the business has been in such a period of transition really since that start of this decade, and Danji said because COVID really pushed a lot of things into different space and forced them to think about, of course, producing differently. Now, there has been economic challenges that have been through, and she admitted, and then the two strikes, the strikes that were in Hollywood had a huge impact to most of the movies that were being released out there. And all this is what they're discussing in relation to the coming series, the coming Harry Potter series. And they say they're going to be much more deep than that. So now this kind of puts me to draw a contrast. If you remember the movie by Disney Plus, this is Percy Jackson and the Olympian Gods. We first heard that was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. We first had a feature movie which had about 3 parts, just like we had the Harry Potter movie, which had quite some huge series, but in movies, because we had roughly like 10 parts, if I'm not certain. I'm not quite certain, but roughly that. But Harry Potter is now transitioning from being a miniseries to being an actual series. This is something very interesting. So that means since the movie already has the world traction, people already love Harry Potter. So the series are definitely going to attract much more. And according to what they say, that the series are going to be more in depth. Now, what you missed out, in Harry Potter, it's going to be much more amplified. This is what they're trying to tell us here. It's going to have a lot of details. It's going to have a lot of characters. You know, there are aspects that were experienced or that were viewed in the Harry Potter movie that didn't make really sense, and something wasn't adding up. So the Harry Potter series would definitely be the answer for all this. And I think this goes out to the movie makers out there. As much as we always talk about having singular projects, let's always think about in-depth projects which really speak to the details, that if somebody can actually watch it, they can feel a huge connection to your craft and who you are and what you put out there. So this is what I think HBO wants to do with the Harry Potter series. And that is it for today's Business and Entertainment. And allow me go for a break. My guests are already in here, and we're going to be discussing agroecology. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
To be a winner, it requires that you exceed all the limits of mankind and womankind. But when you play with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations! Your stomach is full, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
If you play a game of power,
Chelsea is rich.
Yes. I didn't lie to you. I only withheld the information.
Any minute I get, I'm going to tell Charles.
Be prepared to lose it all.
I'd rather be buried alive.
Damalai makes her boldest power play.
Very dramatic.
In season 2, Monday to Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Only on Pal Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148. Go TV channel 303.
Is my joy. Ono bulu majiki, bulu majiki, wange. Ayo, Naraba kumabala, atukuza no nyirira wo chirake nyange. Taisa bubi fabriki, chona chechiri chigwa rwa bulu majiki, bulu majiki is my choice. Ono bulu majiki, wange. Blue magic is my choice. Hey, ono blue magic, wange.
Your best football friend has something special for you.
This is unbelievable.
On the 21st and 22nd September, Premier League is open for you to enjoy. Experience a friendship like no other with 8 live games on Go App, game with expert analysis, live match commentary and stats. Come back to your BFF Go TV for all the drama and world-class Premier League action. Only on SuperSport on Go TV. Love it.
Oli muchala munna business ero yagala business. Oli muchala munna bizinesi era oyagala bizinesi yekulaakulane. Gavumenti ya Uganda ekuleetedde ssente za Grow era nga weewola okuva ku bukadde buno okutuuka ku bukadde 2 n'osasula mu bbanga lya myaka 2 ate nga gw'asasula mu budde olinna mukisa ddala. Eri abakyala abanoonyi b'obubuddamu nammwe abaliko obulemu, enteekateeka eno egenda kubakolako mu ngeri ey'enjawulo. Okumanya ebisingawo, tuukirira Post Bank. Equity Bank, DFCO, Centenary Bank, Finance Trust Bank ne Stanbic Bank. Oba genda ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa www.grow.go.ug oba okujja ku ofiisi za PSFU ku Kyaddondo Road e Nakasero ku kizimbe kya Trust Tower omwaliiro ogusooka oba okuweereza obubaka bwa WhatsApp ku nooti 762 3 nooti 49 omukisa guno gw'abakyala bonna okwetooloola eggwanga era ng'enteekateeka ya Grow evujjirirwa banka y'ensi yonna n'eteekebwa mu nkola minisitule y'ekikula ky'abantu ne Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
The founder, chairman and CEO of the Dangote Group, Mr. Aliko Dangote. You've just come off the stage with Eleni and you've had a panel discussion. And a lot of these conversations definitely involve you. You talked about something that was very interesting. You said Nigeria is exporting the most premium crude oil, but importing the dirtiest. How do we fix that?
Well, I think we're now going to fix it because of our refinery. Our refinery is going to produce Euro 5, and that is the highest quality you can get around anywhere.
Right.
And we are also going to export to Canada, Mexico, Brazil, so we have the best quality.
Sure. You also spoke about the oil mafia. Now, I know everyone's going to be whispering about this, but I mean, is it a known...
But it exists.
It is?
Yeah, that mafia exists.
Yeah.
They're there, and I stand by my word.
Is it a global mafia or is it an African mafia?
It is not only African, also globally there.
Right. And the last question I'll ask you, because I know you have to run, is you talked about the idea that at any given time you might have 35 African visas in your passport just to get around the continent. And we know that getting around Africa has been a big problem for years. Why aren't we addressing this issue?
I think the issue is that to do with lack of political will. But I can assure you, we from the business side, we will push, we will try and make sure that the political leaders take the right decision.
Sure.
Because they're actually stifling our growth.
Right.
And if they're stifling our growth, we have to sit down with them and tell them, hey, guys, you have to behave this time around. We cannot just be going to Addis Ababa, meeting and making sure that you are wasting taxpayers' money without having any results.
Sure.
So we will do that.
Understood. Mr. Dangote, thank you so much for your valuable time.
Thank you so
Your
much.
time is money in the truest sense. Thank you so much.
As a first step, we launched the Single African Air Transport Market January 2018 as the first project of Agenda 2063 to be launched.
Until a few years ago, almost every time you wanted to fly from one side of Africa to the other, you would have to go via Europe.
This will give a huge opportunity to passengers, but also to the entire continent. As we know, many sectors are really interlinked with civil aviation, but also the business in general.
If air transport were to be liberalized amongst them, an additional 155,000 new jobs will be created. 1.3 billion will be added to the GDPs of the 12 countries, and it would make travel much more easier, cost-effective, and make it competitive.
CADEP, it is the flagship program. It is the all-food system that exists for us to implement and make sure that all our citizens on the continent have access to affordable, safe, and available food.
It is difficult to talk about agricultural transformation when we have to rely extensively on extremely subsistence kind of economies. What we have been advocating is for countries to begin to look at agriculture more as a business.
Everything that has to do with agriculture is CAADP. Whether you're talking about trade, if you're talking about youth employment, you're talking about wealth creation, the post-harvest management issues, the land-related issues, bringing on board the private sector, private financing, investments, that all is talking about CAADP itself. So CAADP broadly is the whole spectrum of agricultural developments on the continent.
The AfCFTA, the African Continental Free Trade Area, is a free trade area that comprises 46 countries who have deposited their instruments of ratification. The most recent countries are the Comore Islands and Mozambique, and I'm very happy that between these two countries, or with the addition of these two countries, we have 46 countries that have ratified the agreement establishing the AfCFTA. Only one country has not signed the agreement establishing the AfCFTA, and we are working with that country. With the countries who have not yet ratified, it's not because they have a political opposition to the AfCFTA or because they have a different view. They just have to go through the domestic process of consultations to enable the private sector, civil society, to better understand the AfCFTA so that the governments can ratify. We're building a market of 1.3 billion people with a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion United States dollars. By the year 2035, the AfCFTA market, the combined GDP of the AfCFTA market is estimated to be close to 7 trillion United States dollars. That means that there are opportunities for small medium enterprises, for young entrepreneurs, to export across regions of the African continent and to take advantage of this vast market. However, if we don't have an integrated single market, we will not be able to achieve the positive projections that many around the world have made about the potential of the AfCFTA. For example, the World Bank has projected that by the year 2035, the AfCFTA has the potential to lift 100 million Africans out of poverty, to contribute over $450 billion to Africa's GDP, and to boost intra-Africa trade by over 80%. This positive projection and the potential for small medium enterprises and young entrepreneurs will not become a reality if we do not accelerate implementation of the AfCFTA. But as I said earlier, I'm very pleased that we now have 46 countries who are in implementation mode of the AfCFTA.
Smart 24, driving business. Smart 24, driving business.
We're back from the break, exactly 10 minutes past. It's 11 minutes past 9. This is Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barigi, your host, of course, heading into this hour, which is quite very amazing, where we have the Business Insight, where we bring experts from various fields and various sectors, various careers, and they give us some advice on how we can go about the current trends on what is happening. Because we know, as the world we live in, there are lots of events that surround, but those events will always determine what decision do you have to make at that particular time. But sometimes because you lack the right advice, the right expert advice, it's because you're not in position to actually make the productive decisions. Now, we're going to be discussing a matter very interesting. This is in line with agroecology. Now, Uganda's agriculture sector, though critical to its economy, has long struggled. That is to reconcile the need to increase productivity, that is with equally important need for environmental conservation. Now, as the country definitely seeks to revolutionize its farming techniques and feed a growing population, it faces quite a dilemma familiar to many developing nations, as we can see. Now, the question is how to balance short-term economic gains with long-term environmental sustainability. Agriculture modernization often brings with temptation to rely on what we call the quick fix solutions, such as the cost of soil health, talking about biodiversity, and ultimately what we call the long-term agriculture sustainability. And of course, to make this discussion quite a very wonderful experience with me, joined with Justin Chiza. She is the programs manager for advocacy and lobbying, that is for AFAD. And I have with me Chitaka Maria. She is a founder of an ecological farm from Buwambo, where actually this farm particularly was, she was trained by AFAD. So that makes this quite very significant, most especially at this time when we are having very important conversations all rotating around the climate change. It's a pleasure to have you, Justin Chiza. It's a pleasure to have you. They must keep my mind straight. Maria, sorry. Maria, it's a pleasure to have you here. And I know we're going to really have a very wonderful interaction. I hope you're having a great morning.
Yes, sure.
Sure.
Yes.
Very amazed for that. Thank you too for showing up. It means a lot on that, and most especially on a very sensitive matter, very sensitive discussion like this. Now, of course, in this line, in the context of the 2024 Agroecology Week, what strategic outcomes are you aiming to achieve? Because we have kickstarted off this week, and how will these align with Uganda's broader agriculture policy objectives? I think I'll start with Justin.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Andrew, for
Yes.
this opportunity. Maybe to introduce myself. I'm Chiza Justin. I work with AFAD, as Andrew has said.
Yes.
AFAD is an NGO that is a member organization to Pelham, Uganda.
Okay, member organization to Pelham, Uganda.
Yes, and
Okay.
AFAD is Agency for Integrated Rural Development. We are in Wakiso. So we are glad for the opportunity presented to us by Pelham, Uganda to be here and hosted by your station.
Very, very amazing.
About the strategic outcomes that we are looking at to have after this entire agroecology week of action, we are looking at having promotion of agroecological practices to the public. We are looking at having promotion of agroecological products.
Promotion of
To the
agroecological.
products.
By the way, before we get into that, there's that competitive word agroecology, and I know there is somebody that is watching that is trying to understand what is he meaning by agroecology. Let's briefly talk about it in 2 minutes, then we can proceed from
Okay, please. dear viewers, as you're asking yourself about agroecology, agroecology, as you can see the word, if you can write it down, it is agro and ecology. Where there was agriculture and environment. So whatever you're doing, as long as you're practicing, you're doing your agro exactly.
So agriculture, but minding the environment.
With the environment.
Interesting. Yeah, very well. So we are still explaining on how the outcomes of the agroecology week are going to be.
Yes, we are looking at having promotion of agroecological products to the public. Yes, you go to the public, you go to people and you talk about organic farming, about sustainable agriculture, and the main questions are where the agroecological products.
Agroecological products.
But to the viewers, if you come during this week of agroecological week of action, you're going to get to know a number of agroecological products.
Okay.
Yes. The other thing we are looking at, trying to align policies with what we do. Yes. We are going to,
policies with what you do.
we are going to try to bring out ideas and strategies that can influence the existing policies to at least create for us favorable environment for agroecology, to see that it is amplified among the communities.
So policy.
Yes.
So now this is going to also address me to something. So far with the works you have done, for example, when you trained a farm for Maria, you trained them to be a part of this. First of all, I want to hear from Maria. How have these activities, I mean, talking about from afar, been impactful to the society in which you've been operating? With the skills you have learned, how have they impacted your surroundings?
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Yes.
Chitaka Maria. I'm a founder of a farmer group. At first it was a farmer group. By the trainings from AFAD, a member group from Pelham, I'm now changed. At least, yes. Not only that I've changed, but also members of my society. At least I did not mind about my environment. As my colleague have said, my teacher, my trainer have said, that we should put the environment in mind. It is not only that we should put our environment in mind, but we should put it into practice.
Yes.
Not only in mind, but in practice.
Okay.
If you visit our farms, especially because our farm is in Boambo, when you look on our farms, the environment is protected. Not only growing crops, but look at the environment, trees, some grass. It has impacted our society. So now we are looking forward, not only our society, but Uganda as a country. We are looking out to win more people, to win everybody. All Ugandans should come on board, because this is a general thing. If you leave it, if anybody is not aware, at least all of us should know. We need this information. It is grateful for the protection of our country.
Very true.
Yes.
Okay, now Justin, coming back to you, you're already doing a very amazing job, and you mentioned about policies. What do you, in which way have the existing policies kind of hindered your support you give to Maria? And what are the best policies that you feel should be incorporated such that you can keep raising more farmers like Maria?
Thank you very much, Andrew. For real, we have some good policies that are already existing. For example, the National Organic Agriculture Policy, the National Agriculture Policy that promotes sustainable land use and product and productivity. These integrate, all these emphasize integration of agroecological practices. But most of the time those things are just written in policies. We've had less government support to popularize these policies to the communities.
Less government support?
Yes. The policies are there, but their implementation now is becoming a challenge. And once a policy is there and it is poorly implemented, it is not brought to the public to be aware of it, then it ceases to be even useful to the agroecological sector. What maybe I would say, we need proper implementation of these policies. For example, farmer groups are there down, but they are not aware of what is taking place.
Very true.
Yes. National Organic Agriculture Policy is now existing, but there has been less efforts that have been put to train, to create awareness about it for farmers to understand what it entails. So we shall maybe need more efforts from the government to at least popularize the agroecological initiatives. Still, we've had several gaps in policies that we have. Lack of market access.
Market access.
Yes, market access to agroecological products. Yes. You know, when you tell farmers to engage in something, farmers are really good at becoming serious when it comes to production. For them, they can do their part. But now when it comes to markets, we've not helped them to create those markets to be accessed, to help them at least be incentivized to get good prices for their agroecological products. When you look at the markets that we are having, Pelham Uganda has something that is promoting a promotion of terrestrial markets.
Terrestrial markets, yes.
But when you look at our markets, say Nakasero, Busega, say these different city markets, you can't go there and easily access organic products. Yes, you just find these general products. And now you find that a farmer who labored to produce agroecologically is selling at almost the same prices like the farmer who went in and just bought these synthetic chemicals and fertilizers applied easily and sells. So you find these farmers at the end get frustrated with engaging even in agroecology.
Oh, very, very, very interesting. So terrestrial markets, that is something very key and important. Now, what about because one of the biggest challenges has been in line with production for export, because the president has also been so vocal about this, in line with getting out of the subsistence sort of farming, due to the fact that Ugandans can participate in the money market, commercialization of agriculture. So as your organization, how have you ensured for farmers to actually embark that they don't only establish these farms for simply livelihoods, or the impact should not only be experienced at community level, but how do we see these whatever, it could be cash crops, whatever has been planted in there, that they can actually reach the regional markets for greater impact? And I also want to hear from you that, and also from Maria, who is actually doing the farm directly.
Yes.
How do you see this? Is it a reality in your world? Do you see a possibility of that being real? Because you might be trained to do something, but doing that actual thing, what the trainers told you, is a whole different experience.
Okay, thank you very much, presenter. I will add on my trainer what she has said, that implementation. I'll begin with that one, because she said the way these policies are made, but implementation is weak. I'll add on that. Not only that the implementation is weak, but farmers are not given chance to implement those laws. For instance, if I teach my people, my community, about the good in ecological farming, they will do it. But what if other people come to spoil what they have done? These people don't have a voice. They don't have a table where they will go to report. That is also a problem, sir. Now you said that the government, the president said a wider high production. Sir, we did not mean that in ecological farming there is less production. No. You can...
They are not helped.
Yes, no, ecological farmers.
Ecological farmers.
Yes, okay. These farmers, extensive farmers who do not use ecological farming, they are helped. They are packaging because they have these things are foreign. But if you do your things, at least enough to the standard, to meet the standard. Yeah. And even these ecological farmers, most of the time are scattered. For instance, I may not have a platform to collect many people. I cannot collect many people because my voice is small. So my outcry is to the government. Let our voices be heard. Let us be given chances as local farmers, especially trained as ecological farmers. Let us be given chance.
Given chance.
Yes.
Okay, Justin, what do you have to say on that?
Yes.
As we go for a break.
Thank you. Yes, you talked about the potential of agroecology to generate income. If once a farmer engages into agroecology, will he or she be able to generate some income? And the answer is yes, very big yes. Yes, because we train or we take agroecology as a business. Yes. Farming as a business.
It's a serious business.
Do it to generate income. But now it comes back to the help from, say, the relevant government entities. For example, Pelam Uganda is putting for us this entire week to showcase what is transpiring in agroecology fraternity. But just imagine that we can... How about if we can manage to have a number of exhibitions, a number of platforms, like what Pelam Uganda is trying to put for us? Yes.
Amazing.
So such platforms will at least present farmers, agroecological farmers, with platforms where they can sell. And when someone is at least motivated with the incomes that are obtained from his or her products, just be sure that he's going to produce agroecologically. Yes.
Wow, interesting. It's a very amazing discussion here. I'm still with Chitaka Maria, a founder of an ecological farm that is from Wambaba, trained by AFAD, and my guest to Justin Kiza, programs manager for advocacy and lobbying, that is for AFAD, and we are discussing agroecology climate. Well, let me take a break for now. I'm still returning shortly. We are still going on with the discussion. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again.
Get all the football on DSTV Cutback for only 110,000 shillings per month.
6 laps to go. Can he produce his best form of the season and take the goal?
Now the race is on. This Olympics, we're celebrating the gold in all of us.
It is impossible to quantify the excitement at the moment.
Stay connected to GoTV to watch our athletes go for gold in the Paris 2024 Olympics. Only on Supersport. GoTV. Love it.
Oli mukyala munna bizinesi era oyagala bizinesi yeekulaakulane, gavumenti ya Uganda ekuleetedde ssente za GROW era nga weewola okuva ku bukadde buno okutuuka ku bukadde 2 n'osasula mu bbanga lya myaka 2 ate nga gw'asasula mu budde olina mukisa ddala. Eri abakyala abanoonyi b'obubudamu nammwe abaliko obulemu, enteekateeka eno egenda kubakolako mu ngeri ey'enjawulo. Okumanya ebisingawo, tuukirira Post Bank. Equity Bank, DFCO, Centenary Bank, Finance Trust Bank ne Stanbic Bank. Oba genda ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa www.grow.go.ug oba okujja ku ofiisi za PSFU ku Kyaddondo Road e Nakasero ku kizimbe kya Trust Tower omwaliiro ogusooka oba okuweereza obubaka bwa WhatsApp ku nooti 762 3 nooti 49 omukisa guno gw'abakyala bonna okwetooloola eggwanga era ng'enteekateeka ya Grow evujjirirwa banka y'ensi yonna n'eteekebwa mu nkola Ministry y'ekikula ky'abantu ne Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Box, winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Is my joy. Ono bulu magiki wange. Ayo talaba kumabala atukuza nonyirirawo kirako enyange tayisa bubi faburiki kyonna kyekiri kigwa lwa bulu magiki. Bulu magiki is my choice. Ono bulu magiki wange. Blue magiki is my choice. Hey, oh no, blue magiki wange.
Smart 24, driving business.
Well, smart means business. Andrew Barije, exactly 26 minutes to the top of the Agroecology Week of Action, and we're seeing various activities which are being undertaken. Now, proceeding, Justin, on what we're discussing, I want us to really take a look at, given the diverse range of stakeholders involved in this, how do you plan to ensure that all voices during the event?
Thank you very much, Andrew, about the different stakeholders that we are going to have during this entire week of agroecologists, policy makers, agroecological entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
All are going to be included. They are not going to be left out.
Okay.
They are going to be included in such a way that during this series of events, we always have higher panels of discussions on matters of agroecology. And in there, during those panel discussions, we always have farmer representatives, policy maker representatives, CSOs representatives, to make sure that everyone is representing a certain category of people. Then we shall have breakout sessions still to engage, to make sure that we generate details of every topic that is interesting in agroecology. So during those breakout sessions, still people will be categorized differently to go and discuss and generate ideas that will help to influence a number of policies.
Okay.
Currently, we are working, Pelham Uganda with some other development partners are working on National Agroecology Strategy.
Okay.
So from this week, still we expect to generate fresh ideas that will be inputted into that strategy for further development. Still, we shall have exhibitors.
Exhibitors,
yes,
okay.
And that is the first level of all our people who are having products or who are having anything that can be showcased to the public to participate, right from the farmers to the agroecological entrepreneurs with products. So they are going to be able to exhibit. And still, even when you're not an exhibitor, you will participate in this as a learner. You'll be visiting to a number of stalls, you'll be networking with a number of people to gain more skills and knowledge. Yes.
Very key and important. Now, of course, what specific agroecological business models or innovations do you believe hold the greatest potential for transforming Uganda's agricultural landscape, and how will these be highlighted during the expo?
Yes, thank you very much. Agroecology innovations are quite many because we transverse the entire agricultural value chain. Yeah, right from the inputs, right from the products that are processed. So the innovations around, for example, as AFAD, we deal in organic fertilizers and pesticides, and those ones are believed to feed the soil rightly. Yes, when you grow organically those products with safe biofertilizers and pesticides, you be sure that you're nurturing the soils very well to give you good food without even endangering the biodiversity, animals inside there that you can see with your own eyes and even the ones that you can't see. So such technologies, say, of engaging in biofertilizers are also very key in promoting agriculture production. Yes.
Now, I think talking now to Maria, she has mentioned about these innovations, the inputs. Let's talk about access on the side of the farmer of these innovations, you know, the fertilizers. How has it been on your side in terms of access to the right and affordable inputs?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I continuously thank AFAD because we can access those inputs even without a coin. We make our fertilizers. We make our ecological medicines.
You make them?
We make them because we are trained. We just move around our farms, our homes. For instance, not only that we use them on crops, but also on animals. As you are feeding your animal, you are treating it. Your animal will give you the droppings. We use them as fertilizers. We mix them with other things, so they are readily available to farmers. We even do regular visits to not only our member groups, but also to people in the community. We are trying. At least people appreciate. Yes, in doing that we are also sensitizing people. In Ibuwambo, people know. At least they have appreciated the value of ecological farming. I will endlessly thank AFAD because they are training us without paying.
Without paying. Wow, AFAD. Now, interesting. So some of these inputs here, because when you make them, have you considered like distributing them to various farmers across the country, which can actually be a source of livelihood?
Thank you very much, sir. As I told you, that there is a gap in the government implementation of these things. I may not be able to afford. I cannot afford the packaging. Even people in my community, they know that our products are working. But because you have not packed them very well, they will not be able to buy them.
Very true.
But they know that they work. When the person comes, can you give me this fertilizer? This person will give me, not sell me. We are not yet able to put them into shelves for sale. That is our problem also. Shelves.
So that's in line with packaging.
Yes, packaging.
Branding, packaging.
And on top of what she's saying, yes, biofertilizers are being made by a number of actors right now in the agroecological sector. But there are some challenges that are being faced.
What are those challenges?
Yeah, for example, people are able to make those biofertilizers and pesticides, but to bring them on the full market of, say, the entire country, they need to be certified. They need to be certified.
Certified.
And there is still now a challenge of accessing the certification bodies. That process is still hectic to farmers who have now been able to come out and produce it.
Produce, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
And now, if at all there was something that can be done to at least ease in the certification of agroecological or organic fertilizers and pesticides, then that will be very easy for those people who are producing them to make sure that they can supply throughout the entire country. And I would thank Pelam Uganda, at least they have come up with a model called Participatory Guarantee System that is enabling people to at least certify the quality of their produced products based on trust. And that model is being now promoted among the farmer groups. The farmer groups that are able to bring out agroecological products on the market, at least they can certify their product, say, be it biofertilizers and pesticides, be it any other agroecological product, they can certify it in a group. And at least that one, they are able to access the local markets. But still, it also needs more and more efforts. And even more green light from the government.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. This is something to really have deeper discussions on. Now, talking about the 6th National Actors Symposium, I want to know how will this symposium facilitate actionable collaborations among participants? You know, talking about what mechanisms will be put in place to ensure that that insights gains can actually translate into policy changes. You know, we can have discussions, but ensuring that these discussions can go into the heart of the policymakers is another effort. How are we going to ensure that?
Yes, during the 6th NAS, that is National Agroecological Actors Symposium. Yes, to ensure that those actionable collaborations will be facilitated through having actionable work plans that will be developed with our different partners during that symposium to at least to make sure that we can follow up. Yes, on what will be promised and decided. So for Pelam Uganda, at least we'll be able to follow up that, we decided this and this. How far? We shall have policy tracking. To see the changes from the ideas that were generated during NAS. How far? What has changed? Yes. So at least we shall have those regular follow-ups, visits, and the policy tracking. Then the other thing, we shall have policy briefs, summarizing discussions that can be shared with the government entities.
Yes. You already have them ready to?
Some are ready and some will be started on during the NAS.
Now, we have also the Indigenous and Traditional Food and Seed Festival. I'd love to know, how do you plan to address the tension between traditional food systems and modern agriculture practices? Because I feel that's a huge concern, particularly, most especially in terms of policy frameworks that might run over the other. Well, maybe Maria wants to say something on that?
Yes.
Yes.
We have started on it as in Boambo. For instance, this modern food stuffs. This is what we have done. These local foods, we try to make them as for instance, the processed foods.
Yes.
For instance, the wheat flour. We can go to these indigenous foods. For instance, the cocoyam. We can make them as flour, then we can make chapatis out of them. We have tried and we have made it.
And it works out?
According to our belief, because we have a problem, as my friend said, we have a problem. We need technical know-how. Much as we are trained, we did not study them. We are trained when we are old. Somebody can ask you, which food values, what is the amount found in it? Because on this packed food, the amount is there fats is this amount. But when I make my cocoyam, I make flour out of it, I make chapati, it can even be more delicious than the other one.
Okay.
So that is what we are doing, even matoke. We can make flour out of it.
Matoke.
We are trying to do that, sir. At least we have done it.
Okay, now this poses me to Justin. How are you ensuring, now this is access to improved technology to ensure that, because now we're talking about processing now, you know, food processing. This is value addition. So how are you ensuring that this is a reality for the farmers, since they're already trained, but a little boost? Availability of a few machines, and some of them are not really necessarily, you may not really have these high-class machines, but at least something which can produce something.
Yes, thank you very much. First, I would add on to what she was saying on the strategies to promote agroecology, as you had asked. Firstly, we are planning to have more and more of policy advocacy on the indigenous local knowledge, on the indigenous farming systems. Still, we are promoting seed banks to make sure that we don't lose out on our food sovereignty. We don't lose out on our local seeds. Yes. And the other thing, to increase more awareness on the benefits of agroecological products across sectors, health sector, education sector. We are at least trying to promote the benefits of agroecological products across all those sectors. Because when someone starts to believe, knowing the benefits of feeding on safe food, at least they will have the courage to take on agroecology. Then when it comes to the value addition, right, we are promoting value addition and processing in whatever we do. We are shifting, since we are promoting agroecology as a business, farming as a business, and you can't be in business when you, as a farmer, stops at only producing.
Very true.
If you can labor to produce fresh vegetables, and there are a lot on the market, can you go and add some value to at least extend its shelf life? So in that, we have provision of solar dryers, simple technologies that are affordable, that are user-friendly to farmers. We are promoting them. Yes.
Wow. Very interesting, very interesting. And now, of course, if we are to shift a little bit and head into, from the global context, if we take a look with the pressures of globalization, and industrial agriculture threatening local food systems, what strategies can be employed to safeguard and promote indigenous agricultural practices? What are those?
Oh, wow.
We are looking at the broader perspective now. We are looking at, because we are seeing some challenges that are pressed on by globalization, and we want to understand that with the pressures of globalization and industrial, what we call industrial agriculture, they seem to be threatening local food systems. You know, what strategies can actually be employed to promote indigenous agriculture practices, safeguarding them from the globalization aspect, which is there. The globalization and what we call the industrialization, industrial agriculture.
Still, I would say the strategies that can be put up policies. Yes, policies, and still establishment of seed banks. The one that I've just
You've just mentioned about.
And the other thing, holding indigenous seed festivals. Not to lose out on the indigenous knowledge, on the indigenous seeds that we have. And even for this young generation and generations to come. To understand the importances and their local seeds and foods. This one thing can help to at least safeguard our seeds.
Amazing. I think it's exactly 9 minutes to the top of the hour, and definitely my time is so far spent. But of course, before we get out of here, I'd love to hear from, let me start with Maria, your last remarks in regards to the Agroecology Week, your last regards to it, and what do you have for the farmers in Boambo? What do you have to tell them?
Not only farmers in Boambo, but farmers throughout Uganda or even Africa. This is a living food. These are living foods.
Yes.
They are nutritious at least. Let us practice this.
Okay.
Which I'm inviting all Ugandans, especially people in Iboambo, at least they know.
Okay.
Even you, Mr. Presenter, you are invited. Please
Thank you.
join us.
Thank you, madam.
Join us,
Yes.
please. I will end up by thanking the people of AFAD, especially my trainers, because I also didn't have in my mind. At first, it was not even interesting, but at least I changed my mind.
Okay.
Let us build mindset change. Let us bring our mind into understanding the need, the good found in agriculture, ecological businesses for at least good health and our good environment.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Justin, your last remarks.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity granted to us as AFAD by Pelam Uganda and SB 24.
Smart 24.
Yes, Smart 24 to host us here. My last remarks are I'm posing some questions to the viewers. That do you know what you eat? Are you eating safe food? So just sit right there in your dining, at your workplace, and ask yourself those two questions. Is it safe?
Okay.
What you're eating. Do you
Just
know
what?
the source of that food?
Okay.
Yes, so just think about it. Once you find the answers, or if you fail to find the answers, please come and find the answers at or within this Agroecology Week of Action organized by Pelam Uganda. Come to Hotel Africana, you'll find us there. Starting from tomorrow, we are there up to Saturday in a series of events.
Okay.
Tomorrow, we are having National Agriculture Actors Symposium, where we shall have a number of policymakers, farmers, CSOs coming together to at least tackle a number of policies that are favoring agroecology. Next, on Thursday, we shall have AMAZE, that is Agroecology Market Systems Expo, where we shall have a display of agroecological products. Please, if you've been looking for organic products and you fail to get them, come. You will access all those products. Then on Friday and Saturday, we shall have the national seed and indigenous, like the yams, like the different bean varieties.
But yams are common. I see them all.
Oh.
They're not so rare as such.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Just come. You will find out those rare food varieties you've been not seeing for all along. I'm just calling upon the public to come and participate in these events.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Justin. And thanks for being part of today's edition of Smart Means Business. I've been Andrew Barige. Thanks for all the way where we kick-started off from 7 a.m. with a morning call. To this particular time, as we are winding up with my guests, I have Maria. He's a farmer trained by AFAD. She has a farm in Buambo. Chitaka Maria, she's the founder. And Justin Kiza, she is the program's manager for advocacy and lobbying for AFAD. 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Of course, wishing you a very productive day, and go think twice, strategize on how you can actually make it much more better. And Smart Means Business and the entire team and my guests this morning, we are wishing you a very happy morning. Till tomorrow.